Again, today I'm going to show you the new Universal Audio digital amp simulation pedals. There may be a little bit of talking in this one, so let's kick it off with a little tune. I'm going to start it off with the Dream pedal, the 65 Reverb. Let's go. That whole tune was the Dream pedal, straight in, straight out into the interface, all the reverb, cabs, the works. Came from the pedal. It's great sounding. Before I get into individuals, let me tell you what these guys have in common here. We got three pedals. We got the Dream 65 Reverb, based on the old Deluxe. We've got the Ruby, the 63 Top Boost, actually based on Top Boost and non-Top Boost. Oh, what is it? Well, it's the queen of pedals. It's a Vox AC30, duh. We've got the Woodrow in tweed yellow, based on a tweed deluxe. So this is the 55. What they have in common is same enclosure. They are stereo, so it's actually true stereo running two amp simulations in here. It's not just one with a sort of stereo effects loop. You could run them straight into your amp like a sort of distortion pedal by turning off the cab simulation. You could run them into the power section of your amp as a preamp. You could also run 4-cable method, setting that up with the app if you sync up the app, which also unlocks some cabinets and allows you to save presets. There are sort of two presets. You get your preset and then back to live mode, so you could toggle between two presets. You could also, via the app, set this to do anything. You can make it be the reverb on and off, or be the boost on and off. It's pretty comprehensive, but you're only working with sort of two sounds in there. The pedals are super tailored for the complement of the original amp. So you're not going to get like presence control on the Vox style. You're not going to get a mid-range control on the Fender style. Everything is component modeled. The cabs are not IRs. They're the emulations, very similar to what you'd find in the UAFX box. Specific to the Dream pedal, you have your input. It's a non-master volume amp emulation. The digital output, of course. You've got your treble and bass. That's all that was on the original Deluxes. You've got a spring reverb that sounds delicious. It's great sounding. The theme here, Universal Audio knows how to make reverb. They know their effects, so they put it in the pedal. It sounds fantastic. The cabinets, like I said, are emulations, as in the aux box. They're not IRs, so that everything is very tailored for each of the speakers. That is tailored to the specific amp models. The Dream also has a tremolo, and this knob, which is super cool, it's the boost. We all know about boost pedals, right? In the center, it's the most clean of clean boosts. So, you could push the amp past you would normally be able to do with just the input volume. But there's two mod boosts, which sort of cross the boundaries between amp mod and boost pedals. In the lower setting, the D-Tex, That's like Stevie Ray Vaughan, the Cesar Diaz old Fender mods, where it sort of just opens the lid, so to speak, and gets really bombastic for that style of amp. The top setting is lead. You know, in the 80s, all of these studio cats like Lukather would take their Fenders to Paul Revere, and he did these mods to it that had like a really biting, searing lead. There was other things involved, but that's kind of where this is going in that 80s studio guy lead mod. So very cool, and you know, that goes back to the UA folks know their amps, so it's very cool. Let's plug in, I'll flip some settings, and you can hear it outside of all of the production of the track. Next up is the Ruby. Let's hear a tune. All of the guitars in there were the Ruby. If you hear a delay, that was the UAD plugin of the Korg 3000 digital delay. It's a great emulation plugin. It sounds super cool. It does the thing. I mean, you put it on, you're like, yeah, that's the thing. The Ruby is based on a 63 top boost Vox AC30. There's really multiple amps in here. You've got the top boost You've got a non-top boost, and you've got the vibrato channel. So we have the volume, that's the same for all of them. The cut, which is the same for all of them. It's sort of an overall how much treble is going to come through. The normal channel does not get treble and bass. No treble bass for you. But when you go to the Brilliant, that's when you get treble and bass control as well as the cut. And then the vibrato opens up the juicy old AC30 style vibrato. It's a little more like vibe meets vibrato. It's really, really super cool. You've got your Vox style speakers over here. And again, you go to the normal channel, you crank this bad boy up, and you get that Brian May thing. You just got to open it up. Of course, Brian May would boost his AC30s with a treble booster. When you're in normal mode, the boost is a treble booster emulation, which sounds awesome. But when you go to the brilliant mode, the boost is an EP3, like an Echoplex booster. Awesome. So it's all here. Super rad. Let us plug into this one and check it out. Next is the Woodrow 55 instrument amplifier based on the Tweed Deluxe. Let's go to the tune. based on a Tweed Deluxe. This is Woodrow, the 55 instrument amplifier. It's called instrument because it, I guess, was intended to amplify anything, as you have a microphone volume and an instrument volume. They sort of work like a plexi has the two volumes, and you get the sort of bigger body or the more cut, and you blend between them. Or you just run the instrument volume. It works also. It sounds really good that way. Again, fully component modeled. When you crank the input, it gets hairy, and then it gets really hairy, and then it starts to implode upon itself, which is really cool. It's like that Neil Young, like, Destructo thing. That's rad. But if you go back to, like, I don't know, what is that? 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, then you get this sort of really nice Robin Ford in-between thing where it's really clean, but the notes kind of have that really Dumble-ish thing. Not saying it's a Dumble, just has that Robin Fordy kind of vibe to me, especially when you bring up the room sound. Of course, there's no reverb in the original Tweed, so you get the UA room reverb, which is super similar to the UA aux. Single tone knob, a selection of cabs over yonder. This boost is quite fun. So you've got the boost preamp section of the 3000 here, the 3K as it's called over here, KP3K in fact. And then at the bottom, you've got an Echoplex EP3 style boost over there, or you just go fully clean boost. All of them have a great character. Even the clean boost, it's so clean that it just like blends into the amp. It doesn't have a character, it's just more, really. It's nice to have though in any of these kind of old vintage style gain structures. So let's plug in and check out some tones. Have it, the new UA pedals, or should we call them amps? I don't know, what do you call them? They're amps in a box, pedal board, amp pedals, but they are awesome sounding. I've had them here a couple weeks, and as luck would have it, I kept getting work calls for like that needed vintage amp tones, and I just plugged in. It was kind of nice to not have to flip through a bunch of different amp models and a bunch of different cab things. And when I plug in, I just go, cool, that's it. A little more treble, yeah, nice, a little more gain, add some reverb and I'm off. And I don't really think about it. It's just, it feels good. I'm kind of in. I know some people will be like, why didn't they put everything in one pedal and you just switch? I don't know. Sometimes a limitation is not a limitation, but you'll have to decide that for yourself. I'm digging it. Check them out. They sound great. Please like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Catch you later.